Hey, welcome to Graphic Policy Television GPTV. I'm Brett, and my hands is In the Land of Leadale, Volume 1. It is original story by Ceez, art by Dashio Tsukimi, character design by Tenmaso, composition by Ryo Suzukaze, translation by Leighann Harvey, lettering by Elena Pizzaro. So this is it's a really interesting fantasy story, not what I was expecting at all. When I kind of grabbed it and chose it as something I wanted to review, it kind of came off to me as just, a fantasy comic. Like, this just looks like a really interesting fantasy one. There's a little bit more depth to it, and I think that's kind of what's intriguing by it. So it's about this girl named Keina Kagami, and she loves playing this game, this virtual reality multiplayer open world game, and she winds up during there was an accidental storm, kind of is what's hinted at, and her consciousness may have been transferred into the game, and her body might be dead. So it kind of falls into that, I got transported to a world type games, or type manga. So it's a lot like that, but it doesn't kind of lay itself out like that. This is someone who's familiar with this world, familiar with this game, having been a former player in it, and she's maxed out on everything. She's got all sorts of weapons, all sorts of skills, so this isn't one where she's really starting from basic. Instead, this one focuses on the world itself, which I think is actually what kind of makes it stand out in many ways. From the time period that she was playing to now, the virtual world has progressed 200 years. So what she thought was reality, or this reality, isn't really this reality. There's all sorts of things have changed. The kingdoms have changed. Characters have passed away. It's a different world that she needs to discover, and that seems to be really the focus of the game, of her not just figuring out what happened to her real world body, but also trying to figure out what's changed in this virtual world. And to me, it makes it really interesting and stand out from the whatever, and now I'm in a fantasy world with whatever. The only knock that I would give to it, I wish it held out what has happened to her in the real world a little bit longer. It doesn't tell you that for a little while, and I'm sure reading it chapter by chapter in whatever way it came out would have probably been, the impact would have been a little bit more different. But I would have loved it if it was at the end of this. If this was one volume and not chapter by chapter, I would have loved for it to be right at the end, and you discover whoa, wait, she's on life support in this hospital, maybe, what happened? To me, that would have been a hell of a really interesting cliffhanger for the volume, and definitely would have had me pumped to check out the second volume. As is, I still want to check out the second volume, though. It's a really good, solid fantasy comic, or manga, story, whatever. And while it's close to the flood of whatever genre you want to call it, I forgot what the proper term is. It does stand out in its own ways, which is pretty cool. The art, I like the art style. There's something very cute about it. It doesn't really play off of the crazy manga stereotypes. The characters all kind of are normal, generally normal looking. It's not doing the super sexy poses. The action tropes aren't overused a lot. It's more of the, I guess, is kawaii the right term? I'm trying to find kind of this cutie type stuff. I think that's the right term, right? Kawaii. But I like it. It's a solid art style. There's some really cool stuff to it. It dives into the kind of the manga tropes every once in a while with the action, but generally it stays away from it, and it really is just a person trying to rediscover the world that she thought she knew. If you like fantasy, it's a really solid pickup, and I'd recommend it. I think it's a good read, and I'm looking forward to checking out the second volume. I, who am not a big fantasy fan, is kind of excited about reading more of this. This is out now in comic shops, so you can go get it. We got a link beneath this video. Put in your zip code to help comic shops near you. No shop, no problem. We have some links where you can purchase your own. There'll be affiliate links, so we get a small percentage. By doing that, you'll support our site, so thank you. And speaking of support, I want to thank Yen Press for opening us up with the review copy. And of course, thank you all for watching. If you are into manga, if you're into comics, if you're into graphic novels, check us out every single day at graphicpolicy.com. We're on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Tumblr, all at Graphic Policy, keeping it nice and consistent. Until next time, keep reading that manga and keep it geeky. Hey, thanks for watching the previous video from Graphic Policy Television. Just by watching, you help support our site. Thank you so much. Now, if you're watching these videos, you probably care about geeky things like movies, television, comic books, toys, games, video games, you name it. You can go and subscribe right now to our YouTube channel to stay in touch and catch all the new videos, or check out our website at graphicpolicy.com. There's a nice link on this end of the video. But as always, thank you for watching. Keep on rocking and keep it geeky.